see. Hey guys. Okay, there we are. So I hope this stream holds out. If it does not, I apologize. But I just kind of want to give you guys an update, kind of a look at where I am, what's going on, and all of that good jazz. So over the past 4 days, we have been on quite the adventure. We have been through Alabama, Tennessee, Illinois, Missouri, and Kansas, and now we're in Oklahoma. So, Spicy Tuna Rolls, good morning, man. I hope this stream holds out. If it doesn't, guys, I'm sorry. I'm in Oklahoma, and I am driving through nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, where I'm headed this morning is probably... make sure I don't hit this really big dog here. Hold on just a minute, guys. He's just going to... taking his morning stroll, I guess. But what I'm doing this morning is I am actually headed to one of the coolest Civil War battlefields that I probably have ever visited. And it is called the Battle of Honey Springs. If you guys have never heard of the Battle of Honey Springs, which you probably have not, I'm going to say it's a shame, because this is probably one of the coolest Civil War battle sites I've ever visited. And it was one of the most important battles in the Trans-Mississippi area here in the West. And it's going to involve some Native American troops that fought here in Oklahoma. And during the Civil War, where we're headed this morning in Honey Springs, this is going to occur in 1863. History Buffalo certainly haven't heard about that Civil War battle. Awesome. Afternoon, Dogface. Hey there. So, hey, guys, how are you? So, yeah, this is going to be a cool place because it's going to correspond with the campaign for the Trail of Blood on Ice campaign that's going to take place in 1861. This is going to occur in 1863, jumping a little bit ahead here. And it's going to be fought between Confederate and Union forces, and both have detached forces of Native American units. There's going to be Choctaws, there's going to be Cherokees, there's even going to be some Muskogee Creek people that are going to be mixed in with this. During the American Civil War, the Native American population here in Oklahoma, you got to think about the Trail of Tears has already happened. This is now Indian Territory. It is not necessarily called Oklahoma yet. And it's going to have a fight amongst the people going on. Some of the Native Americans here in the 5 civilized tribes, they want, they're got the Confederate ideology here. They think the Confederacy is going to best suit their needs. You got to think about it. A lot of them are mad at the federal government because obviously they've been removed from their homes in the southeast and put here in the west in this Indian Territory on reservations. And then some of them are going to be loyal to the federal army and Union. So there's a civil war actually going on among the people as well during this time. And a lot of people miss that aspect, which is going to kick off in 61 with the Trail of the Blood on Ice campaign, which we're going to hit on in some episodes you're going to be seeing on this channel from here in Oklahoma. So we're on the Confederate state side or the U.S. side, or did they have their own side? Good question. So they had their own regiments here at Honey Springs. On the federal side, they had mounted rifles. So you had some of the Chickasaw mounted rifles, some of the Cherokee mounted rifles, but you also had those same types of units on the Confederate side. Now, during the battle here at Honey Springs, what's going to end up happening, and it's going to be the turning point of this battle, is some Native American mounted rifles are actually going to ride in between the fire of the 1st Kansas, which is a colored regiment, and it's going to be one of the first colored regiments to actually be in combat. They're going to ride in between their lines and some Confederate cavalry, which also are from Texas, but they also have some Native American cavalry mixed in with them on the Confederate side as well. So this federal cavalry unit that's made up of Americans is going to accidentally run between the two, and then the Confederate army is going to here the Union commander ordered them to fall back into line. Well, the Confederate commander mistook it. He heard the order shouted because they're real close to one another, and he took it as the Federals are retreating, and he orders the Confederates to attack and don't let them get away. So what ends up happening is the Confederate army here at Honey Springs is going to mount a full-fledged attack. A fierce firefight is going to ensue. It's going to be hand-to-hand combat in some cases, and then they're going to battle it out over a bridge here in Honey Springs. And by the end of it, there's hundreds dead on both sides of this thing. And then the Confederate army is going to be withheld, and the Union army is going to retreat back to Fort Gibson. And then that is going to seal the control here of the area of Oklahoma and Indian Territory for the Federal Army. At this point, this territory in Oklahoma, being the Indian Territory, is going to be disputed. No one really holds it, Confederate or Union, but the Confederacy kind of makes their way from Arkansas and the Mississippi area into this area, from Texas, Mississippi, and Arkansas. And they're, let me get the directions here. Hold on just a second. I'm turning right here for a second. But they're going to actually gain control of this area. And that is what the Federal Army is wanting to do, is come into Fort Gibson, which they do. And they're right at Fort Gibson, right outside of Muskogee, Oklahoma, and they are going to take control of the area. The Confederate Army is going to harass the Federal Army by attacking the troop trains, because you've got to feed an army, that kind of deal. You know, in order for an army to operate, you got to feed them. So that is what's happening here in this this place here in Oklahoma. And it's really interesting. It's something a lot of people miss, and they do not even think about when they're thinking about the American Civil War here in Oklahoma. Now, what is here in this area? I'm not going to lie to you. There's not a whole lot here. But if you like history, if you like Indian War history, if you like any history pertaining to the Native American culture, you've got to visit this place. It is extremely versed in history. You'll learn a lot, and there's stuff to see. You just got to get to it. And in between the towns here, I'm coming from Tulsa this morning, which is about a 60-mile ride to Muskogee, Oklahoma. There's not a whole lot here, but you know, this resonates with me. I live on the Native American reservation in Alabama. I have tribal roots there. My wife is actually a tribal member, so this is very interesting personally to me. And it directly corresponds with my life in Alabama, because when the Trail of Tears happened, the reservation I live on, that tribe, a lot of their members were on the Trail of Tears and sent here to Oklahoma. Yesterday, on our way to Tulsa, Oklahoma, we had the chance to actually see an original portion of the Trail of Tears, which honestly is probably going to be my most favorite video that I've ever put up on this channel. It is not going to be a long episode because there wasn't a whole lot there to see. But as far as the places I have visited, even compared to Gettysburg personally, that was the most resonating spot that I have ever been. And, you know, I had a lot of emotion going there. It was, if you don't know what the Trail of Tears was, you know, you got to get versed in your history, guys. But it was definitely a eye-opening experience, and one I've wanted to see for probably my entire life. I've always dreamed of seeing an original piece of the Trail of Tears, and we were able to do that yesterday. Now, when we visited, the funny part about the location where I went, on the left side of me was a highway. On the right side was a subdivision. And this preserved portion of the Trail of Tears was cut directly between the two. And it was really eye-opening to experience it like that, because you see how easily history can be lost. And Milsurp Dua, good morning. So yeah, it's an interesting place out here between Missouri and Oklahoma, and if you've never been out here, you definitely got to do it once. But we are almost to Honey Springs, and I can't wait for you guys to see the upcoming episode from here. We're going, a lot of the places I have planned, unfortunately, you have to drop some every once in a while, but I've hit the major places. You guys are going to see so far Wilson's Creek. I was able to hit that yesterday thanks to Dustin, the subscriber here on the channel and good friend. He recommended it, and I probably would have never went if he did it, and that was a cool experience. You also would see Franklin, Tennessee, and highlighting the Battle of Franklin and the Battle of Spring Hill, Tennessee. So you'll see that, which is the precursor to Franklin and the reason why Franklin happens in the first place. You will also see me go to the top of the St. Louis Arch, and experience. If you've never did that, do it at least once. But if you're, don't like tiny spaces, well, just beware. If you don't like heights, beware as well, because that was an experience I probably would never do again. Once is enough for me. We also went to St. Genevieve, Missouri, which was a really cool place, and I can't wait for you to see that episode as well. Dang, you were only a few hours from me yesterday up here in Kansas City. I highly recommend the World War I Museum. That was on my list. That was one of the main places I wanted to go. However, with time constraints and the scheduling that I'm having to adhere to, I couldn't go. But I will be coming back and going there most definitely. Good morning, Dustin. Speaking of Dustin and Wilson's Creek, he's in the chat this morning. Good morning, Dustin. Thank you so much, man, for recommending Wilson's Creek. Was able to hit it yesterday. Can't wait for you to see that episode. Yeah, it's definitely a neat place. I love Wilson's Creek. But yeah, right now we're going to visit this almost lost Civil War battlefield here just outside of Muskogee, Oklahoma at Honey Springs. And it's going to be absolutely awesome. Remember, when you come, to let me know, you're welcome to stay at my place for free. That's awesome, Miss Updura. I may have to take you up on that, and I most certainly will. So yeah, I can't wait to visit Kansas City, hopefully really soon in the near future when I am able to come back to this area. So I'm trying to hold out, guys. I want you to see, before I get off here, I want you to actually see what Honey Springs looks like. So we got about 3.3 miles here, so we're fixing to be there. I'm actually wondering what kind of uniforms the natives wore in the Civil War. It really varied. A lot of the Native American troops, there are accounts of simply wearing the tribal paint, and I don't like calling it war paint. I really don't, because it's really ceremonial, and a lot of people refer to it as war paint, which it really is. But some of them wore paint, some of them wore the leggings that are more traditional. Some of them wore everything traditional, but they put on a uniform top, a jacket. Sometimes they would decorate that with fringe or different tribal aspects. The weapons collection at Wilson's Creek Visitor Center was a real nice display. Yes, the weapons collection there was absolutely awesome. I did film that. I can't wait for you guys to see that. There's also a really cool bed in there where General Lyons died on. That was pretty awesome, and that was a pretty cool experience to actually have. And I was interested in the bed because it's one of the older beds. When it says hit the sheets, well, you'll see on the episode why hit the sheets. That saying come up in the first place. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You guys understand when you see the episode. So we are about to pull into Honey Springs here in just a second. Again, this is a really cool Civil War battlefield. It is being preserved right now by the Oklahoma State Historical Society from what I found online. So it's not completely, absolutely lost. Just nobody knows it exists. Nobody knows it's here. You can find a few episodes about this on YouTube. I did look it up. I don't know, because I didn't really go looking in depth. I don't know if anyone's actually come out here and filmed what I'm doing today, actually filming kind of a historical visitation type vlog like I do. I don't know what you would call it. But this is I hope one of the first, but if it helps get the word out, of this place, all the better, because that's what this channel is about, is getting people interested in history and bringing youth to some places that you guys may not know about. That's what I like, is finding the off the track beaten places that you're just like, I never knew existed, because that's what I'm interested in. I'm also interested in the bigger places, but every once in a while I love to throw in these jewels. And I know this at history buffs, that's what we all long for, is to find out information and learn this stuff together. I actually just learned about this battle in the past few days. I mean, this is something I didn't know about, and this is what makes this stuff fun. I don't know about you guys, but this is what makes doing this so fun for me, because I'm constantly learning along with you. A lot of times when I visit these places, I'm learning right along with you guys. Wilson's, for example, I didn't know a whole lot about the Battle of Wilson's Creek before I went there yesterday. Now I know a pretty good bit, and there's a lot more I want to learn now about it. But sorry, I'm reading directions here. We're driving onto the Honey Springs battlefield. Pretty cool. Let's turn you around. There's the visitor center here, and let's try to give you a glimpse. Okay, let's see. The phone thing's in the way. I'm gonna do this. There we go. So this is the Honey Springs battlefield. Pardon the camera work, and I'm holding it in my hand and trying to drive, which is not recommended. But bugs all over the windshield. There's a lot of bugs here in Oklahoma. Believe it or not, I just washed this thing yesterday. It's a brand new truck. So I literally bought this thing and then took it on a 2,000-mile road trip. How dumb is that? So this is the Honey Springs battlefield. As you can see, there's not a lot here. Visitor center, and I'm trying to figure out how to get to it myself.
In a quarter mile, you will arrive at your destination.
All right, a quarter mile, it says I'm going to arrive at the destination, but as you can see, this is all part of the battlefield here as well. There's really not a lot commemorated. All right, we got some markers here. So I take it this is the main part of the battlefield. Now, I can automatically see, pardon the camera work as we pull in here, I can already see that this is a pretty neat spot, and is very well hidden, and no wonder a lot of people don't know about it, because there's not much here. But this is Honey Springs, and I take it this is symbolizing where the bridge was that once went over this creek. Now, according to the battle reports that I've read, the bridge that was somewhere in this area was the bridge Confederate troops and Union troops would square off against on both sides. And I'm gonna get out and actually take you guys with me before I start filming here, so I can see too what's here for myself. And we are going to explore a little bit of this battlefield together for a minute. So bear with me. Here we go. Let me know if you guys can still hear me here. Disconnect volume and microphones from the truck back to the phone. So you guys seeing this along with me for the first time. I've never been here, never saw this. So what you're seeing, actually what I'm seeing for the first time. So this is the site of the Battle of Honey Springs, and this is pretty neat, man. So the Texas Road ran through this location. And you can see an interpretive marker here depicting that. So I take it the Texas Road ran somewhere in this general vicinity where the path is, or somewhere in this general vicinity. It's hard to tell. This looks like it could have been built up for a road at one point, so maybe this is it. But the Texas Road is the reason why this battle happens in the first place. The Texas Road is running from Texas all the way up through Oklahoma, and it just so happens to run right through Honey Springs. And this is going to be why this is so key, because this road leads to Fort Gibson, and the Confederates want to take Fort Gibson. And they have some nice markers here from the Texas Division, United Daughters of the Confederacy. This happened July the 17th, 1863 here. And you can tell a lot of this is worn off. I can't even read this. So, yeah, that's very worn off. So it's been here a while. Yeah, I can't even read it. But you also have the 1st Regiment of Kansas Colored Volunteers. They're going to be right here. and fighting, and they're going to be the unit here that's going to be heavily engaged. And then you've got the commemoration of the 5 civilized tribes at Honey Springs. And this is the order of battle. And these are the Indian units, Native American units I was talking about. The 1st Indian Home Guard, which was Cherokee for the Federal. 2nd Indian Home Guard, which is Cherokee for the Federal. And they did also have some Chickasaws mixed in with this. Just because it says Cherokee doesn't mean that every one of these guys was Cherokee. You got to think about it at the time. A lot of these tribes intermingled. Confederate divisions, 1st Choctaw Regiment. I think I meant to say Choctaw a while ago. But 2nd Choctaw Regiment, 1st Chickasaw and Choctaw Regiment, Cherokee Regiment, and Creek, which is Muskogee, 2nd Creek Regiment, which is Muskogee, and Seminole detachments. So there were a lot of Native Americans that were fighting here at Honey Springs. And then this is another marker here talking about the Union units that was represented: 1st Indian Home Guards, 2nd Indian Home Guards, 3rd Indian Home Guards, 1st Kansas Colored Infantry, 6th Kansas Cavalry, 2nd Kansas Battery, Hopkins Kansas Battery, 2nd Colorado Infantry, 3rd Wisconsin Cavalry. Now, there is going to be a Confederate cannon here. There's going to be an experimental cannon, which is pretty cool. You guys will see more about that in the episode from here at Honey Springs. I don't want to give away everything. But yeah, this is a pretty neat spot. And then some more interpretive plaques here. This is pretty cool. What we know, or how we know what we know, talking about some of the letters of the soldiers here. We have returned from a fight, which we call the Battle of Honey Springs. The heaviest fighting took place in the edge of the timber as you approach Big Elk Creek. It was a well-selected place for Sesh to defend, but General Blunt moved on them in their concealment with 2 brigades formed in a line of battle stretching more than a mile in length. The fight began a little before 10 a.m. We had 2 good batteries of 4 guns each and 4 howitzers. Chili McIntosh's rebel regiment did not fight but run. D.M. McIntosh's fought a while and then run. Folsom's and Tandy Walker's Choctaws fought a little more than McIntosh's. Stan Waddy's fought desperately for a while and then run. The Texas and Arkansas troops fought better and displayed a good deal of bravery. They formed several times for fights, but we quickly broke their lines every time. Honey Springs was Cooper's headquarters. As they fled, they set fire to their stores. That was by Chaplain Evan Jones of the 1st Indian Home Guards USA. So he was a federal Indian Home Guard here. And as I said, the tribes, kind of broke off factions. And then Private Edward Folsom of the 1st Choctaw and Chickasaw Mounted Rifles said, "It was not long before the federal cavalry found us and we came over with Negro troops and give us a fight. We had one side of Elk Creek and they the other. It was a stand-up fight. I never did see so many wounded Negroes in a small fight. Our company was on picket that morning. I saw them coming. I came back around and reported that the picket was coming up from behind me. They stampeded and broke for the mountains and got away. They took 5 at our picket. I ran where Colonel had formed his regiment. He saw me, asked me where was the picket. I told all. Oh, he was mad. He sent us back and acted as a rear guard." Pretty cool. And then you've got some of the battlefield archaeology here. Some cannonballs, camp utensils, looks like tips of bayonet frogs in the bayonet. So pretty cool. And then this is talking about the Confederate headquarters and reserve units here of Colonel Walker's 1st Choctaw and Chickasaw regiments, and having General Cooper here. So pretty cool. This is a really nice place. This is going to be a really cool video to shoot for you guys. There's not much here, but that's the beauty of it, is showing what is here and revealing this battle to you out of basically nothing. And there is a cool visitor center here too. I just got to find it. I haven't found it yet. But we're going to hop on the battlefield. We're going to film and we're going to get out of here because we got more places to see today. And honestly, it was a long drive here. And then I got to drive all the way back to Tulsa. So I need to get going here. So I can't wait for you guys to see this episode. I haven't filmed it yet. I'm doing that now. And then, you can explore this place too. And maybe come here yourself if you can ever make it here. But if you can't, that's the beauty of being able to do this. So yeah, let's get to work. Thank you guys so much for jumping in a live stream this morning. This has been pretty fun. So anyway, I will see you on the next live stream episode. I'm glad I could share a moment with you this morning. I'm going to get to work, and I'm going to find me a bathroom somewhere too, and then we're going to do what we can for you guys here and learn a lot ourselves. So I'll see you later on. Thanks for stopping in, and thank you to all you guys for hanging in the chat through my ramblings. And please share the channel with your friends. Help us get the word out. If you want to support the channel, that's the best way to do it. So yeah, let's get to work. Thank you, Spicy, too, as well. And we'll see you all on the next adventure or live stream or whatever comes first. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.